Hey, everybody. Good morning. My name is Jason Flame, board member of the Moorpark Chamber of Commerce, and excited to bring another chamber chat this week onto our social media channels. Unfortunately, we're not streaming live currently on our Moorpark Chamber of Commerce Facebook page, but I will post this link there later. If you're on LinkedIn or YouTube, or if you're seeing this from my Facebook page, please share the video so we can get more people checking this out. So today, let's welcome Laura Libby, a lifelong business leader, community advocate, and co-founder of Sonny Horses for Kids. After a successful career in business development, human resources, coaching, and leadership, Laura and her husband Russell found a new calling, bringing children and law enforcement together through the healing connection of horses. Guided by their motto, one child at a time, no child left behind, they are creating meaningful relationships, inspiring hope, and making a lasting difference throughout the community. Laura's story is one of servant leadership, compassion, and the incredible impact of saying yes to helping others. So, Laura, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here with you. Good morning, Jason, on this beautiful day.
It
And
is.
it is a beautiful day. And thank you for the opportunity to share our story, because it's truly it's a love story, Sonny Horses for Kids, between my husband, my cowboy, and his horse, and being inspired to do something greater than yourself. And our stories are meant to be shared. So thank you again. Look forward to sharing the stories.
I agree. Everyone has a story, and stories are to be shared. And from the beginning of time, that's how we know about our history, as we kind of transcend that forward and learn from the past to continue moving forward. So excited to have you here today. If you are watching live and you would like to ask Laura questions, please just drop them in the comments, because any questions that you ask will go right to the front of the list before anything else that I'm going to ask today. So we want to hear from you if you're watching live. And once again, please make sure to share the video and go over to YouTube and subscribe to the Moorpark Chamber of Commerce. So, Laura, tell me, let's just kind of start with a brief story. I know we got a couple of questions that we're going to dive into, but tell me a little bit more about yourself, a little bit about your program.
Absolutely. So I started working at 14 years old, actually. And my first job was in retail at the Limited in the San Fernando Valley in Woodland Hills. And interesting story, would not recommend that anyone do this currently, but I was 14 years old. So we took my birth certificate, made a copy of it, whited out the year I was born, and I turned 16. So that way I could apply for a job. And I'll tell you, that first job taught me so much about people, about communication, about learning how to interact with folks, different age groups, different backgrounds. It was the best training ground, and it just naturally evolved into my career of business development and coaching and training and HR on the peripheral and management. And it started from there. And I spent 20 plus years in the staffing space. And after leaving staffing, well, actually, I never left it. I went to retire, and then my best friend said, "Hey, why don't you come work for me?" This was a week after retirement. And I said, "Okay, sounds good. I'm quite not ready to retire." So I went to work for her HR consulting firm, and again was in the staffing space, but more in the coaching and training, which I love because it's people. And I've always had that role, being a front person within an organization and being able to build the relationships, establish trust. And we learn so much from each other, which is great. When we talk about our stories, and our stories are meant to be shared, not only to remember history, but also to learn from one another.
Yeah.
And it's just been such an incredible evolution. And I didn't necessarily find Sonny Horses for Kids. My husband found Sonny Horses for Kids. It's his story with him and Sonny Boy and their beautiful relationship. And my husband always searching for his purpose and wondering why he has been spared so many times. My husband's a type 1 diabetic of almost 60 years and has had so many close calls with life and death. And a specific incident took place, and we can go more into that at another question. But the long and the short of it is that Sonny saved his life. And that, in turn, was the catalyst for Sonny Horses for Kids. It's a calling. It's a true calling. It's about us giving back to a community that has given us so much. And if not for our first responders and our law enforcement, my husband wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here. And this has become our life's work, our passion, our kids, our community. And for the kids to know that they are seen, they are heard, and they matter, and law enforcement is there to protect them and keep them safe.
I
So I
love that.
gives you a little bird's eye view into a little bit of my background and the catalyst for Sonny Horses for Kids.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. By the way, I think the statute of limitations has probably run out on changing your birth certificate. So we
Yeah,
won't we won't
you can't
we
do it
won't
now.
let anybody else know about that. But tell me a little bit more about Sonny, because you refer to Sonny, but not everybody knows who that is.
So Sonny is our beautiful quarter horse Palomino. He's this big guy. He's 17 hands high, and he is my husband's best friend and companion of 20 years. And Sonny came from a ranch in Oklahoma, the Circle J Ranch, and Russ has been riding him faithfully for so many years. Initially, Russ rode him for the National Park Service. And then later on, not only Sonny, the ambassador for our program for Sonny Horses for Kids, but he's also a working horse. So he rides for the Ventura County Sheriff's Mounted Search and Rescue and the Sheriff's Posse. And so, and I'll go back to the story of how Sonny saved Russell's life, because that is truly the unbreakable bond that the two of them have. And prior to, just a little bit of context, prior to Sonny saving Russell's life, Russell actually saved Sonny's life the first couple months that he got Sonny. They were out riding together on the trail, and the trail broke underneath them, and they slid off of about a 30-foot canyon. And they both went down. Russ was with another rider, and Sonny was literally hanging off of a ledge. He stayed very, very calm. And most horses, they would freak out. They would try to get up. They would try to bolt. And Sonny is so intuitive that I think he knew if he tried to move initially, that he could end up going off a very steep cliff. And so Russell called up to his partner. He's like, "Hey, what are we going to do?" And they said, "Well, there's really not anything that you can do. They don't save. You won't be able to get him airlifted out of here." So Russell worked with him, kept him very calm, and somehow, miraculously, because no one really knows how, they were able to get him up, for one, back on all fours and back up that cliff.
Wow.
But as Russell explained to me, it was like the hand of God that decided that Sonny was meant to be here. And he somehow got him back up the cliff, and they were both fine. But that's where their story started. And then you fast forward, oh my gosh, 18 years later, 16 years later. And this was during COVID. It was 2021 when everything shut down. I want to say April 22nd of 2021. And Russ was out riding Sonny in Sycamore Canyon, and he had a medical emergency. And Sonny stood over him. It was a 100-degree day. And he stood over him while they commenced a search and rescue operation. And the aviation unit, they located Sonny by air, not Russell, as I found out. Initially, I thought they located Russ by air, but it wasn't Russ, it was Sonny. And when they landed the helicopter and got over to Sonny Boy, they saw that Russ was lying underneath him. And it took 3 men to pull Sonny off of him. He wouldn't leave him. And the reason I know that Russ was in trouble medically, he had a medical emergency. He had called me and he had let me know that he was in trouble and he was drifting in and out of consciousness. So at that time I called 911. But this speaks to this bond they have. Most horses will not stand over you. It was a 100-degree day. It was hot.
Mm-hmm.
And horses will go, they'll search for water, they'll search for food, they'll search to go back to the trailer. But they are so in sync with each other and they truly speak the same language that they're just this, it's a beautiful love story. They have so many adventures together and time spent with kids. And it's something I've never seen. I never realized how truly special and impactful these relationships are with our animals. So this is, Sonny and Russell, they share the same heart, truly. Of course, Russell will tell you, oh no, honey, it's you first. You're my best friend, then Sonny boy. And I go, you know what, on some days I kind of question that. I think that Sonny definitely has the has a leg up on that for me. But
Well,
that's the relationship.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that story. That's amazing. Let's introduce this really quick. Jacqueline Syndergaard is watching, and I'll read it to you. It says, "I so appreciate the work Sonny Horses for Kids does. Growing up with a fear of law enforcement, a program like this would have been so impactful. Thank you, Laura, Sonny, Russ, and the team." So thank you, Jacqueline, for your comment. Thank you for watching today.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
And I'm sure that there are a lot of people that suffer that same fear of law enforcement.
Sure.
I don't share in that. I actually came from, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, right? And what was going on in the 80s and 90s, there's a lot of rap music, right? And there was a group called NWA, right? And they had this song that, everybody listened to, and it had like a cool beat, but now listening to it all these years later, in my opinion, what a terrible song to play. But I never had the fear of law enforcement. I always thought that that law enforcement was there to save me, but there are people there. And can you touch on that a little bit? And can you touch about how your program helps develop that relationship with law enforcement?
Absolutely. Yes. And there are people who are scared of law enforcement, as Jacqueline so beautifully shared with us in her message. We're a product of our environment and our experiences, right? And there are those who have grown up in family situations where law enforcement might have been present or needed, and the interactions might not have been so positive. And we work a lot with children in underserved communities, at-risk youth, kids that have been trafficked and or abused, kids with special needs, and the kids next door. So a whole myriad of different children. And I'll give you an example. We were at Casa Pacifica earlier this week, or last week, actually. It's hard to, the weeks tend to blend into each other.
Right.
And at Casa, they have a population of children and young adults who, some are there for housing, and they have been through some real serious stuff, whether they're dealing with drug addiction or their families might have been incarcerated or whatever it might be. These kids have seen a lot of stuff that no child or adult should ever have seen. Mm-hmm. And we were working with our law enforcement partners, Camarillo PD and CHP. So at our events, we bring Sonny Boy with us and the kids and our law enforcement partners. So the kids get to engage up close and personal with our law enforcement friends. They get to ask a lot of questions, go through the vehicles and pet Sonny Boy, try on the equipment, learn how and why and what it's used for, essentially reducing that level of fear with law enforcement, where they see them as, gosh, they're real people. They're just like us. Mm-hmm. And at each event, every child gets their own Sonny Boy plushie to hold and to love, which brings them comfort. I think I have one here. I can actually show it to you all. Okay. So these are the original Sonny Boys, one of our first group that we got, but each child gets their own plushie to love on. And so at this event, and these kids were amazing. And they asked the hard questions because it's, again, Communication.
Hmm.
And whether you're communicating with an adult or a child, everyone wants to know that they're seen, they are heard, and they matter. And because the kids did feel comfortable, which is our goal, especially for kids that have been through a lot and seen a lot, they put the questions asked there. They put them out there. Questions about whether, it's about drugs, or whether it's about, tell me about, tell me if what you like about your job. I mean, they were questions so broad based all across the spectrum, but some questions were really hard hitting and very much of a bird's eye view into what these children are experiencing. But it starts with building trust and the kids to know. And I always share with them, there are no right or wrong questions. There's no good or bad. Put it out there. This is about honest, open communication.
Hmm.
And again, reducing that level of fear. Of course the horse helps because they get to love on him, but that's what our programs are based on. It's for kids who have gone through a lot, seen a lot, kids with special needs, children with autism, intellectual disabilities, because those children need to be communicated to differently, and having
Hmm.
the parents part of those programs too, so they can ask the officers questions, because parents have their own fear. It's like, oh my gosh, my child's nonverbal. How is this officer going to know that my child might be reaching out to try to love
Hmm.
you, and you're telling my child, stop, put your hands down? But they don't understand that.
Right.
So it's about being out there and sharing with our officers these kids, and the kids to know that those that wear the badge and uniform, it's a safe place to go to. And again, I always go back to badges and uniforms look different. CHP is different than Oxnard PD or Santa Paula PD
Hmm.
or FBI, probation, pick whichever agency you so choose to. But those that wear them are there to protect them. And it's consistency, continuity. It's not just going in one time to a Boys and Girls Club or a school, it is repetitive. Again, the messaging, you must be consistent with it so the kids get to know you, who you are, and these are the good guys and gals, and these are safe spaces to go to.
I love it. I want to ask another question, but before I do that, I want to address this question coming on. Melinda, thank you for watching. She said, "How wonderful! Can you come to a low-income school that she volunteers and see me?" And what I'd love to do, Melinda, is we can connect you with Laura. And Laura, I'm sure at the end you're going to give us information where people can connect with you and follow you. So Melinda, stay tuned,
Absolutely.
and I'm sure that she'll be able to connect with you and give you an opportunity to do that. So my question was going to be, Laura, how did this vision start? Like where did this all begin?
It began, again, going back to my husband trying to find his purpose in life. And it, with Sonny saving his life, it was just, again, the reminder, because this was, I would say, Russ has 16 lives. He's like a cat with 16 lives, seriously. And we joke around about that a lot. But I think it's very common and it's normal for us to question our purpose. It is, some people, they know at a really young age, I am meant to do this. And others, sometimes we kind of struggle with that. And it came about because of his relationship with Sonny, and feeling that while he's been given the gift of life, we need to pay it forward. I mean, it all goes back to Sonny and just still, and God still allowing him to be here and making the best of the time that we have. That's why I say it's a calling. It's this, you're driven to do the work that you do. And we always feel we're not doing enough. We do about 60 to 70 events a year, but we still feel we could be doing so much more. And the program has grown exponentially with different offshoots of Sonny Horses for Kids, which is great. It's great to see the evolution and the progression, but it all goes back to a man who was in search of the gift of life, why he's been given this gift.
Do you remember the very first event or the very first time you took Sonny Boy to a school or, one of the police departments, or what was the very first event that kicked this all off?
Oh gosh, I think one of the first events, and we started it about 4.5 years ago, and we started it under the realm of the sheriff's posse, and then branched out on our own. But it was at a car dealership, and I'd like to say it was in the one in Thousand Oaks, Toyota,
Okay.
or it might have been Kia. It was, or actually Subaru. It was Subaru Thousand Oaks 4.5 years ago. That was our first event. It's like there's so many. It's like, wait, I'm going through the archive of my brain.
Yeah, yeah, right.
And it was Subaru and Thousand Oaks. We had the sheriff's department with us, and maybe there were about 90 to 100 kids and families.
Wow.
And we had Sonny there, of course, and we had snacks for everyone. And the kids were doing touch a truck and asking the officers a lot of questions and getting their plushies. And it felt so good to see these kids just engaging with law enforcement and loving their plushies, loving on Sonny, shaking officers' hands, and saying to them, you know what, I think I want to be an officer now. And it was
Mhm.
just so cool and inspiring. And it snowballed from there, where we work with every Boys and Girls Club throughout Ventura County, and with both public and private schools. And we have events here at our ranch for the kids as well. So we'll bring in organizations such as Interface Children and Family Services, Mini Mansions, Autism Society Ventura County, um, oh my gosh, Gabriel's House. So we'll have different organizations bring the kiddos here and the families. And because everything we do, there's no costs involved, because we want access for every child and every family. So when we host our events here, we have lunch for everybody. We have glitter tattoo artists and face painters at our big event, which we had over 500 people at the last one, which was awesome. We had the Mr. Softy truck, and of course the plushies, and we had another, I think Oxnard Mounted had their horses here too. So it's just an opportunity for everyone to celebrate and for kids to be kids, because some of these kids, they're in and out of foster care. They're in unstable situations. They might have been abused or trafficked. It's a safe space. And we want these kids to know that every child's life matters. And the kids will often ask us, they'll say, you know, my uncle was in jail. Doesn't mean he's a bad person. And we share with the children, it doesn't mean your uncle or your father, whoever, mother, whoever might be, is a bad person. They made a bad choice. But that doesn't have to be your destiny. You can change the trajectory. And oftentimes we're dealing with things generationally, where the grandfather, the father, the son, they've all have had an interesting relationship with law and the officers. But we can stop that today.
Mm-hmm.
We can move it around, and for the kids to see, oh, hey, you know, that officer, he or she was actually really nice. That was a nice person. Maybe they're not so bad.
Right.
Maybe this is something I might like to do. And our feeling is, when you impact one child's life, it isn't just that one child, it's a domino.
Mm-hmm.
And it's every person that child knows and comes into contact with. And our feeling is, if we've made a difference for one, we can continue to make a difference for more. And the goal is for these kids, and even adults too, because we do work with some adults as well, that they can change it around, that they can become their best selves. They don't have to be in this cycle of crime or whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you guys do an amazing job, and it sounds like, lots of events. You're providing food, the plushies. How is your program funded, and how does this get taken care of?
So we probably do about 80% of the funding on our own, meaning we'll go out and we do our own fundraising. And it's fundraising with the community. It's $10, $20, $50, $100 at a time. And we've been very fortunate where the community has been very generous. Of course, we have funding through different organizations as well, both private and public. So we're always out there sharing the work we do. I'm proud to share that we implemented a new program. Our newest program is Sonny Horses for Kids Scholarships, where we'll be able to award 10 different scholarships, $1,000 a piece, to the children in the Explorer programs. We also have Sonny Horses for Kids feeding kids. And last year we started it. I had 15 families that we fed, families in great need for Thanksgiving. And this year we'll be able to feed 50 to 75, so that's growing. We have Sonny Horses for Seniors, where we bring Sonny to those facilities that have folks experiencing dementia or Alzheimer's, but we're moving the focus more on spending time with that demographic, with those folks, such a vulnerable population. Mm-hmm. So we'll bring in a community leader, the seniors will get their plushies, and we'll do an activity together, because spending time with someone is so meaningful when you give of your time. And those conversations create connectivity, but especially with our seniors, they help bring back memory. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, some of our seniors can be forgotten and they experience a lot of loneliness. And we also have our Sonny Horses for Heroes program, where we honor those that wear the badge, including our fire department. We'll go out to the station, we'll bring a plaque. Each officer or first responder gets their special dinner, and we'll have a cake for everyone. Sonny got into the last cake, so he had like a whole blue face. It was so funny. The frosting was blue. And he dipped his head into it, and he came back up. It's like, oh my God, he like ate the cake. He's very cagey. You got to keep an eye on him. But it's an opportunity to recognize those heroes that walk amongst us. And I'm proud to share that we will be highlighting those that wear the fur for the month of July. That's our K9 unit, and that will be in Santa Paula. So it takes a whole village of people to make everything work, right? Yeah. And the funding, we're always looking for folks who would like to support our organization, of course, because then we have greater ability to continue our programs and grow them as they are. But we're out there. I mean, we're out there sharing as much as we can every day about what we do.
Yeah, I mean, we see you, right? I mean, you guys will be over at Tractor Supply, or you'll be over, at Cost Pacifica at events. We just saw you at Coffee with a Cop by Moorpark Chamber of Commerce. So it's always great to see you guys out there doing your work. You and Russell are often described as living a cowboy style of life. What does that phrase really mean to you, and how has it shaped your marriage and your work and your commitment to serving others?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we call it cowboy style. So Russell was definitely born in the 1800s. He has the soul and the heart of a cowboy, and someone who easily could have been, and I do believe he was born in the 1800s. He's somebody who, when you shake someone's hand and you give them your word is your bond. And we just believe that, sometimes we'll do things that's like, hey, do you know how to do that? And he'll go, no, but we just figure it out. He always says, it's cowboy style. It might look kind of funny or might not go by the rules necessarily, but it works. I mean, for example, it's like he has workshops in the back here, and there are tools and there are these odd things. I don't even know what the heck they are, but he holds on to them. They're actually, some of them are from his father and grandfather's workshops. And he'll come in the house and he says, I've figured out how to fix that. I found this piece. God only knows what it is. But he just can put things together and make them work. So we always say it's cowboy style. It's unique for us because we live in this world where kind of a gentler, kinder time, where maybe you didn't have as many resources, but you figure out how to do what you need to do with what you got. Right. And I would say that it's shaped our marriage in that, we work together, we spend most of our time together. we're so grateful to be with each other because we met later in life, and every day for us is such a gift, and we're so full of gratitude. And we have, we truly believe you never go to bed angry. You communicate with each other. We're not always going to see things eye to eye. We're very different from one another, but our core is so in sync. And we laugh and we love and we just want to do for others. That's what completes our life. So we've labeled it cowboy style.
I
Hopefully
love
that
that.
answers that question.
It does. It does. Yeah, it just it's very it makes me feel really warm to hear that, because when it comes to marriage and making things work and things happen, like I definitely feel that with my wife. So I know exactly what you're saying when you're talking about that. And going back to like shaking hands and my word is my bond, like just such a more simple way of such a fast-paced life that we live in, and the society that we move around in. It's I think it's lost. My dad was that same way. Like, it wasn't about a contract. It wasn't about like, and he would just work. Like, if he said he was going to do something, he was going to do it, and that's just the way it was going to happen. If something slowed him down, we're just going to figure out how to keep moving forward. So yeah, I absolutely loved your answer and love that description. It's funny, my wife and I just finished the new series of Little House on the Prairie, right? And I mean,
Wow.
we went back and watched the original a while ago again. But the new one is really, really good, by the way. And it just made me, as you're talking about, like, just kind of figuring things out and like a simple way of life and like being so grateful. On the last episode, it was about, Christmas, and they're just grateful just to have a warm fire and food. And, like sometimes we forget how the simple things in life, the smallest things in life, we can be so grateful for and show that gratitude. Um,
Agreed.
we
Agreed.
we have a LinkedIn user, and I'm sorry, I don't know who it is, but thanks for sharing, and amazing community leaders. So kudos to you guys,
Thank
Laura
you.
and Russell. Let's get into this last question, because we're getting a little short on time, and it
Sure.
does talk a little bit more about your motto: one child at a time, no child left behind. What message would you like to leave the audience about the difference that one person can make by simply choosing to serve their community?
We all have the ability to make a difference. And it doesn't matter the role we have with our occupation, doesn't matter whether you're a high powered executive. Because I've had people say to me, well, I'm just, whenever I hear I'm just, it's like my heart sinks, because we're never just. Each one of us
Mhm.
has the ability to do something amazing. And, and I mean, with Russ and I, we truly believe that these kiddos, each one of them, there's so much unlocked potential for each one of them. And being able to help them unlock that potential, and going back again to those, that you are seen, you are heard, and you matter, leaving that message that every life has value and everyone has something to bring to the table. We learn from each other. We grow from hearing those stories.
Mhm.
And our goal is to touch every child in Ventura County, for them to know that they are special and that they could be and dream and do whatever they choose to be, and not to limit themselves to feel that I can't do this because look at my mom and dad, or look
Mhm.
at what my sister or brother did. And they're just going to look at me and see that person. It's like, no, you're your own person. You have everything right there within you. And being able to help give these kids the tools they need to be their best selves, and the resources so they can grow and flourish. So that's essentially what we live by. We want every child's life to be valued, and for them to walk away feeling good about themselves and knowing that they have something to contribute. And it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be grand in that, well, I can't solve this war, or I can't, you don't have to, set an expectation that will work within your space, within your world, because every step forward moves us all forward because we work together collectively.
And I think that, the ripple effect of just, that, people think, I can't, I don't do enough, I can't do something really big. The ripple effect of any type of service, or any, you talking to one child, right, and making that one child feel better about themselves, or making them feel like, you said, seen and heard and feel valued. That ripple effect of that one child affects their immediate community. That community changes their immediate area. Then it branches to the county, to the state. And I mean, it really does. And people, I think, definitely underestimate the power of just one, literally one random act of kindness, the ripple effect of that. Right. But what you're doing is not just one random act of kindness. You're reaching, hundreds or thousands of kids over the course of a year, and sending those kids out into the world that are going to grow up feeling better about themselves, feeling better about law enforcement, feeling better about their future, maybe feeling better or understanding their family dynamic a little bit better. Because what you said very, very early was that, people aren't necessarily bad, they do bad things, right? I mean, maybe that doesn't sound exactly right, but I mean, someone isn't bad because they did a bad thing. They just did a bad thing. So,
and if they can learn from it and grow from it and pay
right.
it forward and teach somebody else about, here, let me share with you my experiences. This is what I've been through. Because if you can help move someone away from making a bad choice
Yeah.
into taking that negative, not so fun, you take that negative choice or negative energy and moving it into the positive column, think of
Right.
everybody else that will impact.
Yeah.
And it does. It starts small, right? And then
Yep.
it goes outward. And
I
it's
love it.
amazing what can be done.
Yes. Yes, it
Incredible.
is. It is. Well, Laura, thank you for your time today. We're a little bit
Thank you,
over our time,
Jason.
so I'm gonna say thank you for being on the show today. I always appreciate your positive energy. Everywhere that we see you, you guys come with a smile, and you can just feel that good energy. So it's really
Thank
nice to be surrounded by people like that have that good positive energy. So keep that up. Keep
you.
keep going out and doing what you guys are doing. Say hi to Russ,
I
and
will say hi to Jackie. We appreciate you and thank you for all that you do for our community. It takes a village, and we're so
it
grateful to
does.
be part of that village. And thank you for the folks out there who took the time to write in those questions. And again, I say I close off with gratitude. Just grateful. Thank you so much.
Well, and I do have to ask, because Melinda might still be watching, or she'll watch this later. How can
Yes.
people find you online or on social media, or how can they connect to bring you out for an event?
Absolutely. And yes, Melinda, I want you to connect with me because this is what we do. So we're in. You can go on our website and you can message me through our website at sunnyhorsesforkids.org. You can spell it any way, whether it's SO or SU, horses, the number 4 kids. But even if you put in FOR for kids, it'll still take you to our website. You can also email us at sunnyhorses, the number 4 kids at gmail.com, and I will get back with you promptly.
Perfect. And Melinda, if you are watching, I can definitely connect you. So all you have to do is message me, and I'll make sure that we get you to Laura. But once again, Laura, thank you so much. Thank you for
Thank
all you
you.
guys do in the community. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for being a valued member of the Moorpark Chamber of Commerce. And for those who are watching, if you are a member of the Moorpark Chamber of Commerce and you would like to have your very own chamber chat interview, please contact the chamber and talk with Miss Cody at 805-529-0322. Just give her a call and we can schedule your appointment. If you're not a member of the Moorpark Chamber of Commerce, why not? Join now. Any business can join. We would love to have you. We have an amazing group of people that you'll find will be very supportive and very welcoming. And we have a breakfast coming up. As a matter of fact, this Friday, our networking breakfast is at 8 a.m. at 95 at Lucky Fool's Pub on High Street here in Moorpark. So again, if you'd like to attend that event, see what we're all about, just please reach out to the chamber. And we'll see you guys on the next chamber chat or at the next event. Thanks again, Laura.
Thank you.
All right. Bye,
Bye.
guys. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.